Good morning. So everybody wants to know about being an owner-operator, and they want me to make this video of how to become an owner-operator. I don't have the magic sauce, don't have the secret recipe. There is no secret recipe, but I did make some notes this time, so I'm going to try to go through some of these talking points and see if I can't help some of you guys with owner-operator. Now, one person's success doesn't mean it will lead to someone else's success. If you take a homemade peanut butter cookie recipe, someone else might be able to mix that recipe up and bake those cookies a lot better than I can bake those cookies. So the magic ingredients, there's no secret recipe to just simple guidelines. Anyway, hard work and perseverance, right? So, I think if you were to ask me my recommendations for becoming a owner-operator, I would recommend stay in company as long as possible. And you're saying, well, what is long as possible? Well, I'm going to say 3 to 5 years would be my minimum. I did it 14 years as a company before I became owner-operator. That's a long time. But during that 14 years, I was able to crunch numbers, do research. The companies I was not going there, okay, that's another topic. The companies that I was working for, seeing what they paid their owner-operators, and it's, $98 to $1.15 a mile plus fuel. You cannot run a truck for that. So, and I'd crunch those numbers for years and look at it, and was better off staying in company. I was making more money. Didn't have all the headaches. So, and plus during that time that you're doing your company driving, it gives you the opportunity to learn the industry. You get to, you sharpen your driving skills. I still learn stuff every day. But anyway, you get to sharpen your driving skills, learn everything you can learn about the business. Whether you want to do dry van freight, refrigerated freight, step deck, flatbed, low boys, RGN, tanker, grain hauler, car hauler. There's just a lot of different types of driving available, so you need to decide what fits you the best. You might want to be an airline pilot. I don't know, but anyway, so spend as much time in the industry as you can, and learn all the ins and outs of the trade, if we want to call it a trade. Truck driving is an unskilled labor job. But anyway, so but anyway, you want to, you want to learn how to drive. You want to try to get beyond as many of those rookie mistakes as possible, because you make a rookie mistake in your own truck, it gets costly. You touching that yellow pole, it can be expensive. Touch the yellow pole in their truck, let them fix it. They might write you up. Riding up's a pretty easy deal, or you lose your safety bonus. Even I get into positions, I get like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get out of this. Just a couple months ago, I was trying to get around a Home Depot store. Truck didn't make the turn. It was a real tight, narrow, and I was just about an inch off, but getting back out of it, it took me a while. Because I hugged the curb going in, and the trailer almost got into the wall over there, so getting back out, they just don't track back. And I worked on that for about 45 minutes. I thought I was going to call a wrecker to come over and pull that trailer around. But so you just get in those predicaments. I still get in those predicaments. I've been in places that I thought there's no way. You just got to get out, look, scratch your head, think about it, calm down. There's no use getting excited. You get excited, you start screwing stuff up. But anyway, that ain't got anything to do with being an owner operator, does it? So, okay, so yes, so you want to become an owner operator from hopefully being a company driver for a while. You want to do lots of research, decide where it is you want to go. Like I said, you can't run that truck leased on to companies for $1 a mile. You just can't do it. $1 a mile plus fuel does not pay the bills. There's a lot of guys that are doing it. I don't know why they're doing it. But like I said, I crunched those numbers for years, which is why I always stayed company. And so when I went to become an owner operator, I knew where it was I was going to go. So we'll get into all that in just a moment. So reading my notes. So yes, so once you decide what platform you're going to use, whether it's going to be dry van, reefer, step deck, flatbed, then do the research on the trucks and decide what truck fits your operation the best, and go with that. So I'd recommend, do the research on your trucks that you need to buy to do. Certain truck pulls a flat better than it's going to pull a reefer. Like my style of truck, it's not the right ideal truck for a van guy. That truck's probably be suitable with a step deck or a flat, but that we'll get into those trucks, that type of trucking some other time, right? So, well, that's a whole other topic right there. Everybody's thinking, why? Well, there's a long story to that. So, do the research on the trucks that fit your application. And here's where it's going to get that people don't want to hear, okay? So before you need to become an owner operator, you need to have done all your research, spent your time in the industry, and this is where the time is going to come into play, because you need to have, to buy a first-time truck buyer from a respectable dealer or even a bank, you're going to need 15 to 20% down. Normally it's about 17% is how they go by that. So you need 17% down payment, plus $10,000 in the bank for a maintenance account, because and you need to always maintain that. And so the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And so that's a hard goal to achieve. Well, if you cannot achieve that goal before you get into buying this truck, it's going to be a rough struggle. Because everybody recommends that you go buy a used truck. So you get a company trading at 500,000 miles. It's what all these owner operators do. I've learned a valuable lesson with that, but we'll get into that in a minute. And that's also my recommendation. You go buy that used truck. So you got to decide whether you want a pre-emission motor or an emission motor. If you're going with an emissions-based motor, I would stay with a 2014 to 2015. You can go get a Kenworth T660 company trade-in for, they give those things away, $50,000, $60,000. If you go with 15 miles, it's probably going to be in the 70s. So you can shop around and get a 500,000 mile truck with a respectable warranty on it, between 50 and 70,000. If you get a $70,000 truck, you pay 17% down. Your payment's going to be roughly $1,200 to $1,300 a month. So if you're going to go pre-emissions truck, right now they're bringing big money. It's crazy. You're going to wind up getting a 1.5 million, 2 million mile truck that's going to wind up nickel and diming you to death. And Any used truck is going to nickel and dime you to death. This is where we get into words cheaper on that, but we'll get into that later. So, so I recommend buying the used truck with the 17% down, the $10,000 in the bank. It's very important. $10,000 in the bank as a maintenance account, and a credit card with a $10,000 limit. Now, here's the trick to all that, right? We don't want to ever touch the $10,000 in the maintenance account. We want to use our $10,000 credit limit, credit card. If we have a breakdown, we swap the credit card, we pay for the bill. The bill comes in 4 to 6 weeks. We have the money to pay it off. We carry zero balance on credit cards. Because if you don't, say if you have a $3,500 a month breakdown, and you better roll them shirt sleeves up and get to work, because when that bill comes to you, you need to pay it off. And if you can't pay it off, then pull money out of your maintenance fund. But if you work, you can pay it off. So yes, never carry a credit card balance. And so this is why I recommend buying this used truck. So at the end of 2 years, if you're still afloat and you're surviving and you're still at zero credit card debt and your $10,000 is still in the bank and you have made all your truck payments and you've paid all your bills, you have become a successful owner-operator. So then at that point, if you want to upgrade to the 2018 Peterbilt or whatever suits your needs, I'd recommend that because those 2 years that you're on that used truck, it's going to cost you a lot more than driving that Peterbilt. Because the payment alone is $1,200 to $1,500. The maintenance cost is another $1,300. If you're lucky, it'll only be $1,200 to $1,300. An average maintenance cost on a truck operating it, if you break it down by the year, take that annual cost and divide it by 12, it's around $1,300 average a month on just about any truck out there. Unless it's brand spanking new, then you got oil changes, which is $1,100, $1,200 a year. So, so the used truck costs more to operate than the new truck. But the reason why we're going to go used truck for 2 years is because not everybody can because being an owner-operator, you see a lot of money and you handle a lot of money. A lot of money goes out. So you see those big numbers. I'm going to show you this load board and you're going to say, oh my God, $3,500 in 2 days. Well, that is on the growth side. We'll break that out at the end of that video. We'll get into that discussion and break that out. So not everyone can manage the funds. They see that revenue coming in at that $3,000 paycheck, and next thing you know, they're going out and buying the new Harley and the new sports car for their beautiful wife and the big house and the putting an in-ground pool, and they're living off every dime this truck is making. And so when the truck breaks down or the truck goes down for a week, or you got income taxes due, because taxes is up there. So you got all this due, and well, you don't have the money because you're riding around in the nice convertible Mercedes, and your wife and kids are swimming in the new in-ground pool you just put in. So you can't do it. Here comes the fire department. I used to do that job. So anyway, we'll get into that in just a moment. So anyway, so yes, the used truck will cost you more than this new truck. And a lot of people do not understand that. They think, oh my God, you got to work all the time. Well, no, this new truck is cheaper to operate than a used one because my payments are steady. I've got zero downtime, no maintenance cost. When you have a used truck that you think is my Volvo was paid for, right? So you got a used truck that's paid for, great. Well, that used truck's costing you $1,300 to $1,500 a month. And then what they don't realize is every time they come home, they got to put the truck in the shop for a week. Well, then that week of downtime is another, $2,500, $3,500 a week loss. Throw that in there. So now when I come home, it's because I want to be home and I want to relax, not because I've got to be home because I've got the truck in the shop and I'm waiting on the parts changer down the road to put parts on it that don't fix it. That's another topic. But anyway, so that's why the new truck is cheaper to operate than the used truck. And people can't see that. They just see this nice flashy truck and they're like, oh my. Now this truck here that I'm driving, is it the ideal truck as an owner-operator to drive? I mean, it is the ideal truck for an owner-operator to drive, but it's not the ideal truck for business sense. Because if it gets less fuel mileage, it costs more money to maintain it. Because looking pretty, is it cheap? You got to wash the truck. You got to polish the truck. You want to ride around dirty and get yourself an old Freightliner with full fairings and don't ever give it a bath. But I like looking clean. So it costs more money to keep it up. I mean, looking cool comes at a price. You know, you want to. Anyway, so that's a whole nother ball game. We got lost on our ramblings. So to stop this and play it back and see where we need to pick back up as far as becoming an owner operator. So yep, see you. Okay, so I played the cards back and looked at it. I should have made notes. I didn't make notes. It's winging this. Some points I didn't touch on with the used truck of being paid for $1,300 a month. Maintenance cost is that when the truck goes down, if it goes down once every 3 or 4 months, and it costs you $5,000 or $6,000, then you got to take that $5,000 or $6,000, add that into the 13. That goes above the $1,300 a month maintenance cost. Like my Volvo was paid for, but it was costing me more money to operate. I could have paid for 2 of those Peterbilts for what it was costing me to operate the Volvo. And that gets into your truck research. I'm not going to diss any brand, so we're not going to go there as far as being brand loyal, whatever. We're not going there. Just do your research and learn the trucks and the engines. What else was it? Rats. See, I need to make better notes. I need a producer. And you guys want to come be my producer and photographer and business manager. Anyway, so yes, so we're the next clip should be, or just here in a moment, we're going to show you the Landstar load board. And after doing all my years of research, I went with the Landstar because, in my opinion, they are the best of the best. They provide you with the best tools to do the job. They had the best freight available, in my opinion, and a lot of it. Landstar is the 9th, now these numbers I haven't checked in 4 years, they were the 9th largest trucking company and the largest owner-operator company. And Landstar, you're a fully self-dispatched person. You are a true owner-operator. It's just you and that truck. There's nobody else. There's no dispatcher. There's no coordinator. There's nobody. I just run their DOT number. They don't call me. I don't call them. We have a really great relationship. Nobody tells me where to go, what to do, when I can do it. I bring the truck home, park it in the driveway. It can stay there for a month. They might call me and say, "You still work for us?" Or if I had their trailer, they would call and say, "We need our trailer," because they want their trailer making money, right? Their little bean counters and trailer utilization. Anyway, I own my own trailer, and there's a reason for that. So, in my opinion, they are the best of the companies I researched, and I'd say Mercer might be a close second. There'd be a tight race between them and Snyder Choice. Now, yes, there is a lot of other companies out there that might be better. I mean, you got Traveloco, there's a lot of smaller Amway. I mean, you got a lot of smaller companies that you can lease your truck onto. Now, lease, that's that term now. Some of you guys would, anyway, you can sign on to these other companies, like Traveloco might be 88%. Landstar 72% if you own your own truck and trailer. 65% if you're just on the truck. So you got all these percentages, but you got to look at a lot of other factors. You got to look at base plates, you got to look at permits, you got to look at fees, because in the end, you're paying for everything basically. You got to look at quality of freight. 98% might sound great. That's what Amway is. They got like 100 trucks. That 98% might sound fantastic over my 65%. Of course, I'm 72. That might sound fantastic to you, right? But 98% of $2 is the same as 72% of $2.80. The difference in that $2.80 mile freight and that $2 mile freight is that $2 mile freight is crap. It's Walmart distribution or food or something. It's just not good quality freight. But $2.80 mile freight is good quality freight that they pay that rate because they want a quality person on it or something, Anyway, it's just a lot better quality freight. And also Landstar has the tools. They have the fuel discounts. They have the tire discounts. I can go get a Bridgestone 710 tire for $353. I had to pull my L cap right here and find out, but it's pretty close ballpark. That's my cost. That's out the door. It's everything. I mean that tire is without those kind of discounts. I mean, you ask yourself, can you beat that? Fuel discounts is phenomenal. That'll be another video I think one day to show you how we find the fuel. May not put that on today. So fuel discounts could be 50 cents off a gallon at TA or Petro or out west at Pilot. It could be that. And I like Pilot. So I chose Landstar out of all my research because I thought they were the best of the best. And in my opinion, they still are. So if you're going to be the best, buy the best. If you want to be the best, work for the best. Just be the best you can be, right? Anyway, we got off on a tangent on that one, didn't we? So that's my years of research, and I just feel like Landstar is the best of the best. The next step after that, I mean that's as close as you can be to being your own deal because you are totally, it's just you and that truck. They provide you the tools in the toolbox to do the job. It's up to you to take those tools out of the toolbox and apply them. Is whether we look at that. So, but do your research. Mercer might work better for you. I don't want a coordinator. If I wanted a dispatcher, I'd do a state company. I'm capable of doing it all on my own. Travel local might work for you. I don't know. I mean, I have opinions about that. I think if you're going to do that, you might as well do it for yourself. I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, so there, just do your research on where you want to put your truck. Okay. Okay, we're going to try and attempt this. I tried to cover up the phone numbers and couldn't get it. Everybody asked how we get our loads. So this is what our load board looks like. It shows me being available in Nashville, Tennessee on Tuesday, 11/13. Or is that Monday? It might be Monday. I don't know. Anyway, so we have the one load alert enabled. You can have up to 12. So we call this one Follow Me. We pull it up. You see the very first load available is Lewisburg, Tennessee to Plainfield, Indiana. Now, what I love about this Landstar board is it shows me the highest revenue first versus, you can set it up. I mean, you can go either way. You can go for date. You can go by rate per mile. You can set this thing up to do however it is you want it, Let's just look at this Lewisburg, Tennessee to Plainfield, Indiana. We'll pull it up and look at it and see what it is. Details, it looks like it has a stop off in Tulsa, Oklahoma as a pickup. Now I'm shaking the camera, I'm sorry. I don't have this thing on a tripod. We might change this up here in a minute. And it finals out in Plainfield, Indiana, for a grand total of 1,227 miles. And it's a respectable agent, and it's their own freight. So that's how you do that. Picks up on 13th, finals out on the 15th for $275 a mile, gross revenue $33.80. Then we come over here and click this search loads at destination. Once we get to Plainfield, Indiana, we can pull that up and see what's available out of Plainfield on the 15th. You got Massachusetts, Odessa, Texas, more Mass, Connecticut, New Jersey, Oklahoma City, Newnan, Georgia. That'd be the one I'd want right there. That picks up on the 16th. So let's see, we drop on the 15th at 10, so we could take the rest of the day off, grab a shower, get about to eat. Pick up this one going to Georgia out of Richmond, Indiana for $375 a mile, $2,000 gross revenue, picks up 16th, delivers 17th. We'll click on that, read about it, and that's about all the information it has. So that's what we do. Of course, then they're only showing 4 loads, and Newnan, of course, we're looking at next, the 17th, which is next week. Newnan, Georgia will be a lot of loads down there once we, as next week rolls around. So it's probably as far as we'd book it, So that's how we do that. Anyway, it's real simple, easy. Landstar load board rocks, okay? Now, everybody's wanting to know how we get, let's see if I can get this, hang on a second, guys. Next, everybody wants to know how we find our loads, okay? So we get load alerts here into our inbox. Well, I don't have one. But anyway, here's my freight bill confirmation load I'm doing. So anyway, so it will send us an email of a load alert. These available loads is the one I sent myself. Here is a load alert right here. See, load alert for Follow Me. Came in on Thursday. It was Cleveland, Tennessee to Madonna, Georgia. But you gotta have a company trailer, because I called about it. They just didn't list it right. But anyway, so that's how we get work the load board, get load alerts as an owner operator. There is no dispatcher. Landstar is a fully self-dispatched operation. There's no one else, just me and that truck and this load board. That's how we do it, Load pops, we like it, we call the agent, we book it. Easy as pie. Landstar system rocks, gets a thumbs up, 5 stars. So my opinion, Landstar is the way to go. Now I may get in trouble for that video, I don't know. What are they gonna do, fire me? It's a possibility, but maybe I can see if I can't blur that out. If I can't blur that out, the names and phone numbers, well, I don't know. There's no customers there, just city locations and the agent's phone numbers, so you can't find out much information other than that, so it should be okay. But anyway, so there's the load board side. I know that was a quick, fast tour. I think there's lots of other videos out there that does that, so that's all you're going to get from me. That's my inside scoop. That's my behind-the-scenes load board tour. That will be it. So anyway, we'll see you on the next clip. This is, yeah, bye. Okay, so on that load board segment, those 2 loads I showed you, they were the top, pretty much the top tier on those loads, and that's just typical load board search. That's what we come across. We'd have to call and see if it was available, but you got to break that out. That's why a lot of guys are like, oh my God, I had to do all that math. Well, no, you learn. See, my cutoff is $2.20 a mile on that load board. That 220 mile is, what is that, dollar? I had to do the math on that. Let's do the math on that. Okay, so the math on that is $1.58 a mile. That's that's my cutoff. So I don't have to sit there and break that down. Okay, what's 72% of this, 65%? You just learn after a while. Just like the deadhead, you learn that, okay, if this load's paying you $3 a mile, you can afford the deadhead to 100 miles to get it. And you learn what it costs you deadhead. You know, back when I first started, I used to break all that out. The time you did all that, the load's gone, you know. So I learned anything north of 220, I'm making money. 220 is $1.58 and a half to the truck. I average a lot. I average north of that. Okay, my average to me is usually $2.10 a mile, and it funds that truck nicely. So I just know that anything, as long as I pull that. So it's like if you were on just a regular load board on your own authority, stay north of $1.50, $1.60 should be fairly easily to do. If not, don't pull it. So that's why a lot of guys say they like Mercer system versus Landstar system, because what you see on the Mercer board is what it pays you. Well, it's not that hard to decipher, guys. I mean, like I said, you learn north of 220. I don't even look at crap below 220. There's a lot of loads on there that's below 220. How BCO's pulling it because of percentage pay. Well, everybody's like, oh, well, there's fees for this, well, everybody, it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to pay for everything. Owner operator, you pay for all of it. It's just figured into the cost. Like one guy, he left Landstar, went to Amway because he got tired of Landstar fees. Well, he wound up paying Amway $295 a week plus trailer rental. I'm like, whatever, right? Anyway, so just do your research on that and decide where to go and who you want to run for. In my opinion, it's Landstar. I don't think you'll beat the platform. You definitely won't beat the tools that's in the toolbox and the freight. It's just, so anyway, so there's that. So like I said, so the load board, we break that down that we just showed you. So y'all want to sit there and do the math and do that at 65%, unless you own your own trailer, do it at 72%. Of course, that what you seen was line haul. It's not the fuel surcharge. It's a few dollars difference in the way it's going to break out, just doing a percentage of the gross line haul. And go with that, and then don't forget to take out all your fuel money and your insurance and truck payments and driver pay. I don't pay my driver much. He ain't worth a flip. Worthless. So probably going to fire that guy. But anyway, so and once you get to that point, say if it is Landstar, what I do is I do like a 10% in a maintenance account, 10% of the gross line haul. So 10% of my gross line haul money goes into savings. I never touch that money. So I take that out. It's called a maintenance fund, but then I pull it out every quarter, throw it in a savings account. So I save 10% of my gross revenue a year and throw it into, now this last year I bought a trailer with it. So I mean, I do use it on occasion, but buying the trailer was better than borrowing the money for the trailer. So next year we'll probably build a garage, and after that, we just go back to saving. But anyway, so that's what we do with that. That's my recommendation. At least buy you a good truck. Oh yeah, that's what we was going to talk about. The 2 year buying the used truck and run that for a couple of years, because if you don't make it, it's easier to bankrupt on a $40,000 truck than it is a $170,000 truck. I guess there's no easy way about it, but I'd rather lose a $40,000 ride than a $160,000 ride if I was going to lose one. And so I guess that's why I wouldn't start off. And plus, first time truck buyer, you really can't start off in one like that because the interest rates and the down payment and stuff will just eat you alive. And unless you just got a lot of money. If you got the money, then go do it. And you can manage the funds. And if you can pay cash for it, baby, don't know why you want to be a truck driver. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. Okay guys, well there's the end of that video. Hopefully we covered enough bases and that was somewhat helpful. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with any more questions you have that I didn't answer. I'll get to you though. I'll get to those on Monday. I'll go back to enjoying my weekend. I'm hanging out in Nashville all day on Monday at the TA in downtown Nashville. I'll be there all day Monday. So if you're in the area, stop by and say hello. We'll have lunch. If you have any more questions, like I said, leave it in the comments. I'll answer them on Monday. If anybody wants to buy a used Peterbilt Surround with a slight scratch on it right there, she is for sale. Make me an offer. I'll throw in the belly box of the trailer and meet you on the road and hook you up. We're going to throw it in the scrap pile. I didn't see no point in throwing it away. Thanks $2,000, so it'll be worth a few $100, right, to someone that has one that's in worse shape. I'm not taking the bugs off though. The bugs are free. So anyway, so we'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed. I'm fixing to go shoot a crow. Y'all have a good one. See ya.